Okay. Let's see. Okay. To Dan, who could transition stick down. Oh yeah, Dan applaud. All right. Dan applaud. I'll bet you sell out about 1 billion postcards between Memorial Day and Labor Day. Labor Day. Oh yeah. My bad. Dan knew well. Sold in bus stations. He convinced stores all over America and held it out. Dan took once. Billy listed him up. I better enjoy it while I can, Billy said, looking smoking be banned here before too many more years. Fraser women's clubs already talking about it. Bunch of old bits if you ask me, but if you know what they say, the hen rock that in the fucking cradled rules. The fucking world he jetted, not that most of them he rocked the cradle since Nixon was president, or needed might not be the worst thing, Dan said. Kids copy what they see in their elders. Thought of his father. The only thing Jack Torrance had liked better than a drink, his mother had once said, not long before she died, was a dozen drinks. Of course, what? Of course, Wendy had liked was her cigarettes, and they had killed her. Oh. Once upon a time, Dan had promised himself he'd never get going with that habit either. He had come to believe that life was a series of iconic ambushes. Billy Freeman looked at him, one eye squinted, mostly shut. I get feelings about people sometimes. Oh yeah. I get feelings about people sometimes, and I got one about you. He pronounced got as gut. In the New York, England fashion, had it even before you turned around and I saw your face. I think you might be the right guy for the spring cleaning I'm looking for between now and the end of May. That's how it feels to me, and I trust my feelings. Probably crazy. Dan didn't think it was crazy at all. And now he understood why. He had heard Billy Freeman's thoughts, and clearly. And without even trying, he remembered something Dick Halloran had told him. Once Dick, who had been his first adult friend. Lots of people have a little of what I call the shiny, but mostly it's just a twinkle. The kind, that thing that lets em know what the DJ's going to play next on the radio, or phone's gonna ring soon. Billy Freeman's had that little twinkle, that gleam, I guess. I guess this Carrie Kingsley would be the one to talk to. Huh? Casey, not Carrie. But yeah, he's a man. He's run municipal services in this town for 25 years. When would be a good time? Right about now. I think. I should think. Billy pointed. Yonder pile of bricks across the streets. The Fraser municipal building and town offices. Mr. Kingsley's in the basement. End of the hall. You know, where you're there, you'll hear the disco music coming down through the ceiling. There's a ladies' aerobics class in the gym every Tuesday and Thursdays. Alright? Dan said, that's just what I'm going to do. Got your references? Yes, Danny patted the duffel, which he had leaned against a teeny town station. And you didn't write them yourself, or nor nothing? Dan smiled. No, they're straight goods. Then go get 'em, Tiger. Okay? One other thing, Billy said as Dan started away. He's death in drinking. He's death on drinking. If you're a drinking man, then he assists you. May advise is lie. Dan nodded and raised his hand and to show he understood. That's what Eli he is told before. Judging by his vain congressed nose, Casey Kingsley had not always been death on drinking. He was a big man who didn't so much inhabit his small cluttered office as where it. Right now he was rocket back in the wheelchair behind his desk, going through Dan's references, which he were neatly kept in a blue folder. The back of Kingsley's head almost touched the downstroke of the plain wooden cross hanging on the wall beside a framed photo of his family in the picture. A younger, slimmer Kingsley posed with his wife and three bathing suited of kiddos on a beach somewhere. Through the ceiling, only slightly muted, came the sound of the village people singing YMCA, accompanied by the as enthusiastic stomp of many feet. Dan imagined um, the gigantic centipede once that had recently been to the local hairdresser and was wearing the bright and leotard about 9 yards. Uh-huh, Keasley said. Uh-huh. Yeah. Right. 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 There was a glass filled with hard candles. Okay. Hard candles on the corner of his desk. Without looking up from Dan's thin chef of references, he took off the top, fished one out, and popped it into his mouth. Help yourself, he said. No, thank you, Dan said. A queer thought once came to him. Once upon a time, his father had probably sat in a room like this, being interviewed for the position of the caretaker at the Overlook Hotel. That's right. What had been thinking that he really needed a job. That it seemed that his last chance probably, but of course, Jack Torrance had hostages to fortune. Dan did not. He could drift for a while if he didn't work out, or try his luck of hospice. But he liked the town common. He liked the train, which made adults of ordinary size look like Goliaths. He liked Teeny Town, which was the absurd and cheerful and somehow brave, in its self-important small town of America way. And he liked Billy Freeman, who had a pinch of the shining and probably didn't even know it. Above them, YMCA was replaced by I Will Survive, as if he had just been waiting for a new tune. Kingsley slipped Dan's references back into the folders of his pocket and passed them across the desk. He's going to turn me down. But after a day of accurate intuitions, this one was off the butt. Mark, these look fine, but it strikes me as that you have been a lot more comfortable working at the Central New Hampshire Hospital or the hospice here in town. You might qualify for home helpers. I see you've got a few medical and first qualifications. You know your way around the defibrillator according to these. Heard of helpers? Of helpers? Yes, and I thought about the hospice. Then I saw the town common and teeny town and the train. Kingsley grunted. Probably wouldn't mind taking a turn at the controls, would you? Dan lied without hesitation. No, sir. I don't think I'd care for that. To admit, he's like to sit on the scavenged GTO driver's seat and lay his hands on that cut-down steering wheel would almost certainly lead to a discussion of his driver's license, then to a further discussion of how he'd lost it, and it then to an invitation to leave Mr. Casey Kingsley's office forthwith. I'm more of a rake and lawnmower guy. More of a short-term employment guy, too, from the looks of the paperwork. I'll settle someplace soon. I've worked most of the wanderlust out of my system, I think. He wondered if that sounded as bullshitty as to Kingsley as it did to him. As to him. Short term's about all I can offer you, said Kingsley. Once the schools are out for the summer, Billy told me if I decide to stay out once summer comes, I'll try the hospice, in fact. I thought I might put you in an early application unless you'd rather I don't do that. I don't care either way. Kingsley looked at him curiously. Dying people don't bother you? Your mother died there, Danny thought. The shine wasn't gone. After all, it seemed as it was hardly even hiding. You were holding her hand when she passed. Her name was Ellen. No, he said. Then, with no reason why, he added, we're all dying. The world's just a hospice with fresh air. A philosopher. Yeah. Well, Mr. Torrance, I think I'm going about people. Just don't show up late and don't show up drunk. And don't show up with red eyes and smelling of weed. If you do any of those things, down the road you'll go, because the Remington house won't have thing to do with you. I'll make sure of it. Are we clear of that? Dan felt a throb of resentment. Office prick. But suppressed it. This is Kingsley's plate of field and Kingsley's ball crystal. Okay.